Hey Chevette Nation, welcome back. I think this week we're going to go easy, we're going to go slow, just do a little bit of work. Like I said 2 weeks ago, we're going to crack open this differential, pop the C-clips off, pull the shafts out. That way I can take the backing plate with the entire brake drum assembly off and throw all that away. Probably going to try and get some of this disc brake stuff and see if I can't get it on there. I don't expect to go a whole lot further than that. And here, I just need to make a plate like that. Scuff it up, cut it out, scuff it up a little bit, glue it in place basically. I'm just gonna silicone it, maybe put a couple self-tappers in there for, structural. The doctor said I could come out and play. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I had double carpal tunnel release surgery. This one healed up great. This one got a little angry. Not really infected, but it's really, really angry. And, well, I can actually see it bulging through the glove. But, hey, the doc said, go ahead and go play in the garage. You can go back to work. Go easy on that hand. And he says, just don't do anything stupid. Like I do anything stupid, ever. First thing we're gonna do is clean this mess up, and we're back. Got the place clean. Look at that. You can hardly tell, but it's clean. Now it's time to get to the rear differential. So if you remember, we've got the S10 rear end with the drum brakes. They're coming off. We're putting on Camaro brakes. It's got 342 gears with a Gov Bomb locker. So I need to drain this. I can't just pop the cover off right here. So I need to get this thing lifted up so I can slide my oil pan underneath of it. That'd just be stupid just to pop this off right here. And the doc said don't do anything stupid. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to lift this up and put it on jack stands on top of the bench. Yeah, sounds like a good plan. If you know the rules, you can break the rules. Therefore, if you know the rules, there are no rules. We're throwing physics and all that stuff out of the window here. Raised center of gravity doesn't make it sketchy. Maybe a little bit. That's just the cheap crap-tastic jack stands making it sketchy. I got these jack stands 30 years ago. I pulled them out of a scrap metal bin back then. They're good. They're cherry. Now we can get to work zipping this sucker off and draining the diff. The doc said I have to wear these for now. Don't make fun of me. But I wear them a lot anyways. You'll get people saying, oh, you're not a man, blah, blah, blah. But why soak your hands in cancer if you don't have to? Granted, healthy is just a precancerous condition, but let's put it off as long as we can. Oh yeah, here's your tech tip for the week. Keep your rubber gloves in a baby wipe container. It's stronger than that cardboard box they come in. And the things are so expensive right now, you need to protect them. It's insane how much they cost these days. COVID. I need a hammer. Found one. Somebody hid it underneath the car. Ow. It's a very delicate operation. If you don't do it right, you're gonna make a mess. If you can pick it up with 2 paper towels, it's not a mess. Man, that oil does not look good. It doesn't look terrible. There we go. Love that smell. This looks like it's never been opened. Nobody ever puts a gasket on these. They always just put some silicone, RTV, room temperature, vulcanizing, bubble gum glue. That's what they always do to put these back on. And this has a gasket. Therefore, henceforth, furthermore, it's safe to assume that it's original. Great. My eye itches now. I got gear lube all over me. Yeah, that did nothing. If you've never been in a differential, then you don't know what I'm talking about. Gear oil is disgusting. Not sure what's up with that discoloration. I'm not sure if that's some water. I need to dig in there a little bit better and take a look. The wear does not look bad, but everything in here actually looks pretty good, except for that oil. Little questionable. So I have to clean that up. I have to clean all that up. Hose this out. This is part of the axle shaft. And right in there, you saw how it moved? That is a groove that holds the C-clip, which is right there. You can see the edge of the C-clip. So what I need to do, take off this bolt right here, drive this bolt out. It's not really a bolt, it's a pin, but drive that pin out, and then I'll be able to move the axle shaft in just a tick. And then you get that C-clip to come off. You can use a magnet and try and pull it out this way, and then you lose it. Don't lose it. Save it. Don't lose it. Keep it clean even. This is not something you're just going to get out of a nut and bolt bin. This is not something you're going to get at the local hardware store. I don't care how good of a mom and pop hardware store you have. I don't care if you have an old car quest in town run by old men who don't use computers. You're not going to find this bolt. What kind of gearing do you think would be best for this? 308, 373, 342, 410. The overdrive on this is not much of an overdrive. I mean, it is an overdrive, but she's not going to have super long legs. It's not sketchy at all. If that falls, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the whole time it's falling. This is another piece you don't want to lose. Another piece you don't want to beat on too hard. You saw all I had to do is tap on it. See, this is another one. Only way you're going to find one is if you go to the junkyard and pop open another Camaro or S10 differential. The minivan probably has it too. I don't know. But see, this has got that hole in it. It's got that weird bolt. Boom. It threads in here, but that goes through there and just holds it in place. It's like a cotter pin almost. Aha. And instead of trying to reach in over the magnet, I'm going to try to use some needle nose pliers. That's not going to work. I'm going to use some needle nose pliers. That's your C-clip. Let me see if I can catch this on video. All right. There, you see that moving? That's the C-clip. I want to go ahead and move that around. Yeah, it's just sliding. It's just going to slide all the way around now. Can't see it off camera, but my left hand is just over there, and I've just got my fingers on the axle shaft on the flange. And I'm about to push it up. There. Like I said, that was just with 2 fingers I did that. So it's not like it's difficult. Then you reach in here and you pull it out. To do all that work and not change that seal, that would be like taking a shower and putting on dirty underwear. Yeah, I know you've had to do that before, and you know you'll have to do it again someday, but ew. You could continue using that nasty seal. Yeah, it's advice. It's not good advice, but it's advice. Probably might be able to get away with it. Just remember, life sucks when your seals start leaking, especially on a differential on the rear axle, because it's going to start spraying oil everywhere. If it gets on the brakes, then you don't have any brakes. Sometimes I've heard of people having a fire because of it. Never seen it with my own eyes, but hold on, I'll take that back. I have seen it with my own eyes on big truck stuff. So yeah, fire's not good. Let's see here. If you're going to be working on something else, kicking up all kinds of dirt and rust dust in the air, cover that up. Sometimes you'll have to smack these with a hammer. Sometimes you have to smack them with a bigger hammer. Other times you can just hit it with your purse and it comes right off. I don't think I'm going to have to do any of that. Could be wrong. I don't have my purse out here though. Nailed it. No springs flying everywhere, no shoes dropping, no parking brake cable being a pain, just the entire assembly into the recycle bin. So over here it's the exact same thing. 4 bolts, 4 nuts, smack it off, hit it with your purse, throw it away in the scrap metal. How do I get all this out? There we go. Just got to stick your fingers in it. Now personally, I'm a big fan of the synthetic oils, especially on something that you don't change the oil on very often. I can argue on an engine, I can argue either direction. But on something like this, where it gets drained once every, what, 100,000 miles, maybe, if it's lucky, why not give it some good stuff? Even if it's just a marginal benefit, which honestly it's more than just marginal, but even if it was just marginal on something that you're going to neglect and essentially abuse, then feed it the good stuff. A lot of seals. Now before you get carried away, double check and make sure they're the right ones. These are national seals, 8660S as in Sierra. Nailed it. Looks like a win. Again, I know I've got the right tool somewhere, but no clue where it went. Is that better? Quit complaining. It's cold in here. There we go. Nailed it. Different seals, different manufacturers are going to be different. This is the one that came out of it. I'm going to assume it's factory. This is off the driver's side. I can't remember what brand the green one is. As you see, it has a flange basically, right? And this one does not. Made in Mexico. Could be worse. Another tech tip. You can hold this up on the axle tube like that, and then just start tapping it around. You can do that. If you've never done it before, it's a good way to screw up. If you dent it, if it gets cockeyed just a little bit, and then you have to start beating on it harder to get it to go in, to get it unwedged, then you probably just ruin the seal. But of course, you're just gonna keep on going because it's the middle of the night and you don't wanna run back to the parts store, or even if it's during the day, you don't wanna spend the money. So this can do it, not a good idea. You could go out and buy the actual proper tool. Again, money. Get the biggest socket you have. See that? Fits right on there, right around on the outside edge. So I put that on there, put this in the hole, get it square, stick this sucker on there, and just start tapping it right here with a hammer. I will give it a little tap to get it started. beautiful. For years, we were told to use these whenever we were doing a differential or an intake gasket or something. Whenever the gasket stuck to the mating surface, you just take this either, there we go, with that abrasive disc or something like this, and then want you to grind it all off. Problem is with that, with this you're putting these fibers all over the place, and with this you're putting basically gravel all over the place. Ends up right in here, and it screws up your day. If you're doing an intake manifold, it ends up going down inside your engine, screwing up somebody else's day later on. Let's not do that. You can use a regular gasket scraper, like this. You can use a putty knife. And when it gets stubborn, use a razor blade. It takes more time, but do it once. Do it once properly. Turns out the battery died on the phone that I was using as a camera. New seals, disc brake brackets. These are slid back in. C-clips in place. The pin, the bolt is in there with the bolt, retaining bolt. Silicone bolts, torqued, done. Another advantage to going with the disc brakes, the caliper bracket bolts onto here, then the caliper bolts onto that. Even though it's a floating caliper, that caliper's not coming out. It can float left and right, but it can't float like this. You got the wheel holding this rotor on, so it's firm, it's tight. You got the caliper bolted onto the bracket, bolted onto this. If the C-clip breaks, your axle comes out. Now, with the disc brakes, if the C-clip falls off, or if the axle shaft breaks, your brake caliper is going to hold it in place. You might get a little wobble like that with the wheel. I mean, you're not driving on it, but your wheel's not going to shoot out and take out your quarter panel with it. It's a win-win-win-win-win. Win. So in all reality, I got this whole disc brake setup for free. Now, of course, I'm not going to use these rotors. I'm not going to use those pads. I may not even use those calipers. But the main part of this, I'm going to call it a kit, since I took it all off of one and put it all onto another as one piece. But the main piece of this kit is this part right here and the part that the caliper bolts to. And I paid 50 bucks for that rear end. I got 50 bucks for it when I sold it. And I stripped it before I did that. So all these parts for the brakes I got for free. And boom, golden. To redo the drum brakes would have cost more than just getting pads and rotors for this. So, plus this is a whole lot easier. I hate doing drum brakes. I hate them with a passion. You get springs flying everywhere. You get, lots of cussing and crying, and you curled up in the fetal position. I'm just not a fan. This is the last episode for the calendar year. Next week should be New Year's. Happy New Year's. Hopefully we hit the ground running come January and get this thing on the ground. I need to get this thing on the ground. Up front, I need to get some bearings, inner and outer bearings, and I need to machine the hubs. And I think then I'm good to slap that together. In the back, I still need to fabricate the torque arm. Throw this thing in place, and then hook up the brakes. But in reality, I could put it together without brakes as far as being able to roll. So I'm making progress, baby steps, but I'm making progress. This is done. For now, the place smells like both gear oil and brake clean. I guess that's better than just brake clean. Yeah, cover that up. That stuff stinks. Even though I don't practice this, remember, 1 hour a day helps keep the jack stands away. So until next time, you guys take it easy.